last year was a crazy year for each and every one of us. We've been through many things that we didn't even expect that we had to go through. Normality was threatened. Politics was crazy and a little chaotic. People's personal preferences and personal opinions create division and separation. Overall, last year seems to be a mess. But we are in 2021. And we're beginning a whole new journey, as my wife spoke earlier, about the newness. Something about newness that says birth. Something about newness says that there's potential and hopefulness for greatness. Something about newness tells us that we can do more than we have done prior. And we start off right because God is on our side and God is with us. God has always been on our side. And yes, we have had some struggles last year. But God is more than capable of filling a void of the losses last year and fueling you for taking control and conquering the obstacles of this year. And I believe with certainty that God is getting ready to raise up His people even more than last year. Last year seems like survival. This year seems like conquering. If you're watching this video right now, you are a survivor. That means you survived anything and everything that came your way by the grace of God. You may be damaged, you may be hurt, you may be confused, you may be weak, but you still survived. And if you have a breath in your lung where you can breathe, that means that you have the hope that now we can rise up from all the ashes, we can rise up from all the loss, we can rise up from all the mistakes, we can rise up from where we are and go to an even better place. But the question is, do we want it bad enough? The question is, do we hunger for more? Not for oneself, but for one's quality way of life. See, we always look at quality based on preference and convenience that is wrapped up in comfort. But quality is not based on that. Quality is based on purpose that drives passion, that gives you something to be hopeful for, something to strive for, something to work for. That is what increases the quality way of life. I have to tell you the truth. God is not going to give you comfort, but God will help you fulfill your purpose. 2021 is not going to be about comfort. It's not going to be about us getting back to normal. Because quite frankly, I don't want things to go back to normal. Quite frankly, I don't want you to want things to go back to normal. Quite frankly, I want you to say, I had normality, I had chaos, now I want greatness. I want a greater life than I ever had before. I want a greater life than I can ever think. I want a greater life than anything anyone has ever accomplished prior. Why can't we do it? After all, we have the knowledge of all of our ancestors and the learning from their mistakes. We have way more technology, way more access, and most important, the secret weapon. We have way more access and ability to receive from God like none other before. Money can't get it to you, can't give it to you and get you what you need, but God can. Whoever you elected in the governmental offices cannot get it to you or give it to you, but God can. Your job cannot get it to you or give it to you, but God can. In your own knowledge and capabilities, you can't give it to yourself, but God can. So we all start first with God. So God's children, let us make a declaration. Let us make a decision that 2021, we're going to stand on God no matter what comes our way. That we're going to build our foundation anchored in God. And everything else that we build on top of it is going to be led, inspired, and built on top of God's will and not man's will. That you can say like our great Apostle Paul, that I have been crucified with Christ and I no longer live, but Christ live in me. Because when we start to realize that our life is not our own and we are purchased. But the truth is, being purchased is bad when you're purchased by a slave master. But when you're purchased by a liberator, purchase is good. See, we're one slave to this earth and to this world. Because Christ is the one that dictates where your capabilities lie. Last year showed us that we can be limited, not only on a personal scale, but a global scale. But God has always shown us that we are more than conquerors. God shows you, I know we have a lot of troubles, a lot of issues, a lot of cleanup to do, a lot of restoration, a lot of overcoming. But every time we see someone great, it's because in times like this, they rise to the occasion like no one else. God did not give us a curse, but God gave us a blessing. But we have to learn to see the negative positively. The question is, God has given us the greatest opportunity right now in this moment in 2021. You have endured a lot for 2020, and now we're in 2021, and we have the greatest potential of making it what we can and what we will it to be. But we can't see problems, we have to see possibilities. That blessings come out of problems. See, Noah had to survive and thrive in a storm to be significant. Moses had to go and release God's people from a despotic monarch and uphold their chattering and their disobedience in order to be great. Joseph had to endure betrayal after betrayal after betrayal in order to be great. Jesus had to endure the cross in order to be great. God is saying right now, there is something for you to endure and thrive and rise to the occasion in so you can be great. Because He has made you to be great. He has made you to be a conqueror. He even said more than a conqueror. So how can we be conquerors if we're trying to avoid things to conquer? 2021 is the time to conquer everything that's limited you in 2020. But it starts first with obedience to God. See, all the people I named and many more start out with first having the obedience to what God is saying to build your faith and be directed by the greatest creator, the greatest being, the most powerful entity in this universe. And we have the same access. Doesn't matter what you're facing right now. You have the same access. And every opposition is really an opportunity. Every loss is really just a setback for a setup. Every situation you survive is only saying to you, I have more to give than I had prior. And everything that attacked you but not defeated you. And we always say defeat is based on the fact that I missed the expectation of what I hope to accomplish in this conflict. But the problem is, overall, that it's not about that. But if you're still standing at the end of it, you are successful. So if you have survived those things, that means God has plans for you. Don't allow your personal agendas to get over your purpose. So now 2021, let's get ready to conquer some stuff.
If this video was inspiring, insightful, or even left you a little curious for more information, please comment down below. We would love to hear from you. And if you also enjoy this post, I'd be very grateful if you help it to spread by emailing it to a friend or sharing it on Facebook or any other social media outlet. Thank you, and I will see you next time.